Well, I'm guessing you're going to be right. And that it's something the characters in the show haven't even figured out yet. That they're building up this relationship between Kirches and her and everything until they need to find out that, oh, yeah, she died.
Yeah.
We brought her back and she fucking died. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stone Face Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we are back with another episode of Legend of the Galactic Heroes. We are three episodes in on The Returner, I think is the name of this little arc that we're in.
I mean, we're 33 episodes into Legends of Galactic Heroes.
No, I said
we're
3.
The third. Oh, third, 33.
Three episodes in. 3 episodes in. 3 episodes in. No, I said 3 episodes in. I have no idea actually how far we are in. I don't typically know that until I do the thumbnail, because I do the thumbnail with the how many episodes in this episode is. So people are like, what do you mean season 2, episode 4? What the fuck? I don't know what the hell's going on with me today. Season 2, episode 4. What do you mean that's episode 1? So the thumbnails are basically how I'm keeping track of that. You know, like the movie Golden Wings is like episode 20 something for us. Yeah, but no, we're only we're on the 3rd episode of this particular arc, which is itself 4 episodes long. Even though it kind of feels like we've accomplished 90% of the task handed to us.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we got the directional cephalon particle projector.
I mean, about to say about half, because you always have to get it back to where you need to go, right?
Right, but that's not the majority of the mission. I mean, that's the finality of the mission.
Yeah. But if you don't do that, it might as well not count. Oh, surviving. But yeah, that's a minor detail. We don't have to worry about that.
I mean, no, it depends. Like, how much does the Empire care? Right? If the impetus is make sure the Alliance doesn't get it, then destroying it is just as good as returning it.
Yeah.
But also make sure the guy doesn't defect. Well, he's dead now, so mission accomplished.
Yeah.
I think returning is something you can do on your own time. I mean, just mean technically to what is the mission, right? Make sure he doesn't defect. Make sure he doesn't take the prototype thing with him. Technically, mission accomplished.
No, because your bosses wouldn't know if you actually complete the mission or not if you never come back. It's like,
is knowledge of completion as valuable as the completion?
Yes, because they might spend more resources trying to get something that doesn't even exist to begin with, right?
Knowing that the mission is time sensitive, I don't know that you could. Because otherwise you might give
you would try other things to try to sabotage it or try to find out if they actually made it. And, it's still going to be like, wow, we never heard about them. They could have succeeded. They could have failed. It could have made it all the way to Alliance space. We still have it. Do we have agents that can sabotage this thing inside, as a backup plan? Right?
That's harnessing parts of an intelligence network that already exists.
Yeah, but that's also puts them at risk as well, because every time you said do this, it's like, well, yeah, they can be discovered or captured, right?
In which case, though, you'd find out via that intelligence network, which is already in place.
I mean, it implies that the intelligence network has agents in position to know that particular piece of information. Just because you have an intelligence network doesn't mean you have access to all the enemy information. It might be like you don't know, and then like 5 years later, you go into a battle, and oh shit, they have this technology. Well, we didn't check after we sent Reinhard to it, so because we thought he succeeded. So, I don't
know. I feel like there's multiple levels to this. I would say that success itself is more valuable than knowledge of success. But I mean,
how do you know you succeeded? You don't know if you succeeded.
I was going to say that the knowledge is also valuable too, agreeing with you. But you don't need to know that you succeeded so long as you have. The only detriment is your argument about resources. You don't want to waste resources finding out that you've already won. But, having already won is a victory.
Yeah, but again, this is one of those situations where knowing, I mean, it's like, oh,
There's
yeah, we played this
something very
game.
clearly you could say here. That
Yeah,
a very popular phrase in, say, 1980s children's America.
knowing is half the battle.
There you go.
Yeah, literally in this case.
Yeah. The other half
Because
is
you have to.
finding out that you know. Or I guess
So yeah.
knowing is actually the last half of the battle.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like I said, the idea that you could have already won and not know it, I feel like is still a victory.
I mean, yeah, but it's a kind of victory which is it's incomplete and therefore, for example, it's not exploitable as well. It's like, oh, this guy sabotaged the enemy army, but I don't know that, so I'm still planning to act as if they didn't sabotage
Well,
it.
to be fair, this is not an actionable event. This is damage control. We've got to damage control our own thing. So,
also remember, this is a defecting noble, and I believe that one of the reasons why he's also important, almost as important, not because they could have just said, find him, kill him, and just give me the machine. They wanted him back because they want to make an example of him, right? Because if he just disappears and nobody knows who it is, it's like rumors will exist. Oh, he maybe actually did escape to the Alliance. That's still a possibility, right? And may encourage other people to try to do the same. It's like, I think the idea is like, you bring this asshole back, we put him on trial. Since we're doing by 19th century rules, we hang him in public, right? And they do hangings. This is what happens when you fuck with us.
I mean, we already know
By
that.
the word of the, so
we saw that. We saw that with Herder.
Yeah.
They visualized
I think
it.
now I know what the problem is with Marietta. She's dead.
She's clearly not dead.
No.
Are we talking about two different people?
No, the little girl, right? Marietta. That's her name.
Oh, you mean she's dead in that if we return her, she's going to be killed?
Yeah.
Dead man walking, you mean?
Dead girl walking in this case, yeah.
Dead man
because
walking. Cue the Undertaker's theme song.
Yeah. Do you have the fact that he tried to defect? There's clear proof. Sure, he died. In fact, that might have even been the plan to begin with. That if they tried to capture them, they wanted to kill all of them, and she was supposed to die with them.
I don't think so. It seems very heavily implied that those chambers were escape pods, that they were going to make launch them into space move.
Yeah, maybe. Or then maybe that's what they told themselves.
I don't know why all my examples go to Star Trek, but a Botany Bay scenario.
Yeah, but I think in this case, it might also be the situation where that's what they told themselves. Hey, honey, we're gonna escape. Just go in there. Don't worry about it. And then it's like,
well, no, I don't think it's an element of that's what they told themselves, because when they walked into the room, the boarding party, they implied that they must have had a malfunction before they could launch them into space, as though because these are the characters that live in the world, so their say-so means more than our guesstimations, right? And if they say that this is how this works, and I have to take their word for it.
But yeah, that's true. But at the same time, knowing what would happen if you do get captured, I mean, a spacebot can be retrieved.
I don't know. I think I'd rather get hung.
I mean, technically, you just go to sleep and never wake up in a space.
You're assuming that they just had asphyxiated or whatever. That dude looked pretty fucking pained in the face.
Yeah,
because that could have been a whole pressure differential too. You don't want to get the bends to death, which might have been what happened to him. Like you said, look on his face doesn't imply that was a peaceful death. He just carbon monoxide himself out. No, a little tuckered out. No, that guy's like, oh God, no.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. So the
He went out
possibility
like a risk.
exists that you get hung and your neck snaps immediately, which is the intended way to get
Mhm.
hung, which is
Yeah,
almost pretty quick. Pretty quick. So
yeah.
I'd rather risk my chances of the noose failing and just hanging there uncomfortably until I pass out versus whatever the fuck happened to that guy. Not sure what happened to him. Didn't look happy.
I'm so happy.
Although I guess to be fair, if you saw someone who got hung, it's like eye bugging out sort of thing too. So those people don't look happy either. But just the knowledge of what's going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't
Get the
know.
bucket.
I mean, it's a good enough theory. I don't know that that's why it'd be a problem though.
Maybe because Reinhardt and Patricia Kirchheis don't want her to die, right?
That they shouldn't have rescued her.
I mean, they rescued her because they thought that she got information, right?
No, they would have
mean-
rescued him because they thought he would have information, like the code for this
Yeah,
thing.
but the thing is, I think they rescued her. I mean, either they don't want her to die. That's when they rescued her. It wasn't like, oh, either we let her die here or we have her hung. I mean, kind of the same situation. It's like, oh, shit, this kid's dead anyway. So launch her into space or something. I don't know. Maybe actually that's what they should have done. You think about it, because there was a alliance patrol, right? I guess Kirchheis didn't think fast enough. If he had been alone in that room, he could have launched her into space, right? Have the patrol pick her up. It's like, well, there's all the bodies we found. They're all dead. Traitor's gone.
I don't think that would have worked. Well, I mean,
Well, it would
even
have
if he
been,
was alone in that room, there's a bridge
yeah, it
full
would
of
have been
people with the sensors on the.
detected. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is all predicated on the fact that if you're right, I mean, she might not be hung.
Well, if we go by what we know about now, we got to go by what we know already in the same universe.
Right.
If a
Re-education
traitor's
camps,
family,
though.
yeah, no, but remember, what he's being accused is treason. It's not merely, oh, I broke some rules, I spat on the face of a noble or piss on their sunflower bed or something like that. I'm talking about you betrayed the empire. You are a traitor to the empire. You not only fled the empire to join the rebels, you took a very key a piece of technology with you. If in the military they hung you and your entire family, right? So much so that Reinhard was willing to accept he just fell to death. He just killed himself, and I'm going to send my superior officers. Well, he had no choice, but still, the superior officer was willing to say, "Listen, the record is that he died in combat to spare the family." And Reinhard was like, "Sure, let's do that." He went along with it. Then, yeah,
Well, I mean, Marshall said, "Hey, let's do that."
yeah,
Reinhardt wasn't super happy about it, but I don't know. There's the element that Michelson defected and then considered coming back.
yeah. But I think he would have still been. I guess he considered back to just end his life. Like, yeah, just kill me already.
I don't know. That's pretty fatalistic. God, this fucking alliance sucks so bad. I'd rather die in my home country.
Or he thought he had information he could trade for his life, but he would still be at the risk of.
I don't know. I just have my doubts. Like, I understand that the whole herder situation was if you do this sort of thing, your whole family gets hung or killed or whatever. But I don't see the value in killing the one surviving girl.
Consistency.
It sends no message.
Oh yeah, no, it does.
It's not
You
a
don't
valuable enough message.
Yes, it is.
You know
don't
what
fuck
it
with the
tells? You
Empire.
know what it tells me? It tells me that if the emperor doesn't kill them, the emperor. I keep saying emperor. It's Kaiser.
It is the Emperor. Kaiser, yeah.
Well, I mean, different terms for different things. It's Kaiser here. We always say Kaiser in the show, so I gotta keep. It's an empire run by a Kaiser.
By Caesar, yes.
Well, Kaiser.
That's what Kaiser means, Caesar.
It's a very specific word because look, we don't call all mountains mountain, right? It is the word for mountain in that language, followed by the English word mountain. We are going to use the specific word. They're not. It's not Caesar, even if the word means Caesar. It's Kaiser, which may
Kaiser,
also
okay.
mean emperor, but we're using the German language here, so it's Kaiser. Anyway, I don't remember what I was about to say. Oh, sorry. It would show the mercy of the Kaiser to let one random little girl go. And there's no value in the girl herself, so all it exists to do
Well,
is
it
show the
is
mercy of the
because
Kaiser.
she still has the title unless she's stripped of all their titles and properties. That kind of is also like a death sentence because nobody would associate with her. She'd be poor and be left on the streets, I guess, or an orphanage if there are orphanages in the
I'm
Empire.
looking for a loophole here, and I think the loophole could be the Kaiser's mercy would be a way to save family members. You know, kind of like how Herder threw himself off of a cliff in order to prevent or try to save his family. That the possibility exists that if you could invoke the Kaiser's mercy, that you would have noblemen who are trying to do treason kill themselves to save their families, which would be more, I think, narratively interesting for me and explainable in universe.
Here's the thing. There's also the idea that you don't want anybody, and this is why you kill the entire family, is that you do not want somebody come up later on for revenge,
The
right?
evil overlords list. Yes, we already covered this before.
So yeah, this little girl might grow up, and if she has, if her father still has any contacts or anybody who has she has a motive to come back and at least cause some trouble, right? But I think that Kaiser might be merciful if he chooses to be, or he might be like, you know what, fuck you all. You do what I'm telling you, no matter what, because my rules are inviolable. That's why I have a secret police. That's why you all motherfuckers have to die. Capiche? Okay.
Well, to be fair, I don't think the secret police are killing people.
Probably torturing them to death, probably.
Well, no, I mean, the secret police probably gather the information, then had the public police kill them. Otherwise, you would know who the secret police are.
Yeah.
Although the secret police is also just a fucking name.
Yeah.
The idea is you'd want people to know
Rarely
who
are
the secret police are.
Rarely is the secret police an actual secret. Lets people know that there's a secret police. That's kind of the point. They may not know who exactly works for the secret police, which is the secret part of the secret police. But the existence of the secret police is rarely actually secret. Otherwise, it doesn't actually work.
Well, I mean, it could still work without knowing that they exist, because then it's just
random people getting kidnapped. So if it looks like the police are not doing their job because there's random kidnappers and murderers and people disappear.
Well, no, because in a state where the police is so effective that they are both hidden and kidnapping people, I think the murderers are also getting kidnapped. It's not the police aren't doing their job. It's the perception of the police not doing their job, which, in fact, will get you kidnapped by the police if you start spreading rumors that the police aren't doing their job. It's very effective if you think about it. In that,
no, I think people would protest because
you wouldn't have any idea. You would have no idea it's fucking happening. What are you protesting? Kidnappers?
I mean,
hot take. Kidnappers bad. Because you don't have any idea that's a government program. No,
you probably know somebody.
My idea is that your thing is that the secret police instill fear, and that fear of the secret police is what's doing the job. But if the secret police are unknown and super effective, then all the people they're taking out are the dissidents. And to even suspect that there are secret police is going to get you black bagged.
Well, tell me of a place that has a secret police that people don't know is a secret police in human history. Like, that's the first thing. It's like, yeah, those people have a secret.
Why do I have to? Why am I beholden to human history when we're talking about a sci-fi anime?
I mean, I think they follow some basic rules, unless they're like ultra.
I don't know why you think that they're beholden to any basic rules when the idea is to be creative and make up new things.
Yeah, no, but it has to be. It stretches credibility to the breaking point. Oh, The entire family next door disappeared. Wonder what happened to them. And you remember
God,
Joan?
I hope
No, I
it's
don't
not
remember
like
Joan.
another one of those things that we don't mention on the channel anymore.
What happened to Joan? Well, we don't know. She was shopping one day and then she didn't come home. Man, people are just disappearing left
You
and
know,
right.
it's funny how much people don't actually know in the real world versus what they know in like in a narrative. That sometimes your neighbors do vanish, and it turns out that they moved 4 states away. But you don't fucking know that. For all you know, the secret police took them away because you don't live your neighbors' lives. You're also not informed of everything happening all around you at all times.
No, I'm saying people who are like, what the hell happened? Eventually somebody's gonna put 2 and 2 together. Like,
oh yeah, they got fucking evicted. Because you know what? Making up stories is also really easy for the organization that can apparently keep track of everybody, arrest them in the middle of the night without anybody seeing. A secret police that keeps itself secret, probably also able to put an eviction notice on a door.
Yeah, I think somebody would notice if somebody breaks into somebody else's house at least once or a couple of times, Not every time, but it's like, what are those people?
Never mind. You're also assuming that enemy action also always takes place in the same area. Yeah, people might notice if it's all in one spot, but also maybe not if it's like across the city,
I think actually would if it's across the city. Yeah, because people talk. People
I think you're misinterpreting my use of across. I don't mean like it happens all over the city. I meant like one happens like on the north side of the city, another time it happens on the south side of the city, across the city.
Yeah, I know. I think if people disappear without a clue, people will get panicky.
Depends on the size of your population. If we're talking like Mayberry, people start disappearing. Yeah, I think Andy's going to figure that out because there's only so many people in Mayberry. We're talking like the population of New York. No, I think we can lose a couple 100,000 people a day and people won't even bat an eye.
Anyway.
The Joker has a whole speech about that.
Yeah, that's the Joker for you. This episode that we're about to watch.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
And then Deep Space Nine goes by in the background. Wouldn't be that hard to do. Just a quick green screen edit, little tracking motion.
Yeah. Or do the intro to Deep Space Nine to this music, which actually would fit. You think
only up until like now. Now it wouldn't fit.
Well, I think it would, in that the lyrics are not that off, really, to think about it.
Well, for one, it'd be really weird watching. For me and maybe for you, watching Deep Space Nine in Japanese.
Oh yeah, but this lyrics are in English.
Oh well, like I said, I have difficulty hearing the show.
Yeah.
I think you'll find most of the time I'm reacting to what I'm reading on screen, which is why I have to the shows that we watch together, little emotional impact on what's being said because I don't hear the inflection of what.
Yeah.
Again, I think that's also why I mentioned it when I'm saying the Gundam notes about hearing the people say stuff in English.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're having inflection that I didn't hear the first time around. And then hearing it in English with a redneck accent or a English accent. And by English, I mean English in England, not English as in just accent, the language.
Recessive accents, Cockney accent, Northern accents.
I thought you said Saxon accent. I was like, no, that's not what I meant.
No. Recessive. That's an upper class type of accent,
Well, I don't know specifically what I'm talking about. I mean, like, whatever Arthur and Seed is doing in English.
I would have to listen to that in English. I haven't.
That's how I take my notes.
I just find it too distracting once I'm used to the Japanese. But we already said that already, so. Yeah,
Well,
I
for me,
already
it's that I'm
said that
hearing-
already. Of course.
I'm hearing both though. I'm watching the show, reacting to the show in Japanese, and then I'm watching the show in English so that I can have both under the belt.
Everything seems to happen around New Year's for some reason. Nothing happens in the summer.
You already made that observation in Spiral Labyrinth.
Well,
When
that one
you
was
pointed
that
out that every
how-
planet is October.
Yeah.
問題の装置をこちらに移設できないのか。制御コンピュータが向こうの船のメインコンピュータとリンクしていて、これを解除するにもアクセスコードが必要です。
I'm interesting why they just jump to English in some random words.
それは困る。
I'm sure there's a Japanese for computer.
確かに命令は装置の回収か破壊でした。ですが試作機のメモリの中にはこれまでの実験データがすべて記録されており、これのコピーは存在しません。
Take the memory of it then.
装置ごとひいては船ごと持ち帰るしかないではありませんか。ヘルクスハイマーの身柄は生きて拘束できなかった。装置だけでも回収できればそれに越したことはない。それに
Issue of the daughter.
いや
Everybody knows.
で、なんとかアクセスコードを知る方法はないのか。ヘルクスハイマーの娘は知っているようなのですが。
Ah, well, that's what I said. He knows it.
注意。どうなのだ、その娘の様子は。それが。では、アクセスコードはご存知なのですね。
知っておる。
教えていただけませんか。
断る。
No, because the moment I tell you, you'll kill me.
教えてやる理由はない。
お父上のことはお気の毒でした。ですが、その亡くなられたのは事故です。
そうであろうが、お前たちが襲ってこなければ亡くなりはしなかった。
我々は
I mean,
伯爵の身柄を確保しようとしただけです。
それでも同じことじゃ。
That's a well-appointed room.
何せ相手は10歳の少女です。まさか拷問したり自白剤を使ったりするわけにも。
Oh, boom, there you go.
ほ
I was thinking the worst of evil empires.
Oh, even think about that. He's like, we don't talk about.
地球環境へお戻りください。どうした？敵の警備部隊と思われる戦鋭がこの中域へ近づいてきます。わかった。
It's always weird how the main character ships have longer sensor ranges than anybody else.
とりあえず
Yeah.
向こうの船もこのまま同行させよう。指揮はキルヒアイス注意。引き続き K が取れ。ベンドリング少佐は装置の解析に専念。
Right. Get to command the ship with no weapons.
何か質問は？
移動するとしてどこへ向かいますか。
結局向こうの船から新たに入手できた航路データはこの周辺の分だけか。
フェザン側が慎重なようで、回廊からの次の寄港地までのデータしか渡していないようです。
新たな航路データが得られない以上、来た道を変えるしかなかろう。
Conversely, why do you think they would find you while you're riding the comet?
明らかにこの水星群を目指しています。
Oh, never
この
mind.
付近に隠れる場所が他にない以上、疑うのは当然でしょうな。発見されるのも時間の問題です。
隠れ続けるより早めに離脱を図った方が良さそうだ。向こうの船の準備はできています。よし、水星の動きに紛れて離脱する。敵の動きは
Yeah, they're coming in.
参加してこの星系の
Feels like you could shut down the main ship and ride in the shadow of the civilian ship.
気づかれたか。
いや、一隻ということは水星かどうか念のために確認するつもりなのだろう。
しかし近づかれたら水星でないことはすぐに露見しますぞ。
キルヒアイス注意と通信はできるか。通信装置は修理中ですが、
Yeah, we kind of destroyed them all.
よし呼び出せというわけだ準備が完了したら発光信号で知らせよ了解しました
しかしうまくいきますか
準備ができるまでの時間が稼げるかにかかっている鉄艦さらに接近準備はまだか
信号来ません
You can also wild weasel it. Fire off a missile with a high ECM signal.
鉄艦
And power down your ships at the same time.
そのようです
敵艦より入電停戦を命じています
むしろまたかキルヒャイス
発光信号確認
よし敵艦に停戦すると伝えろ原則2分の1
I wouldn't have guessed heave 2 meant slow down.
鉄艦さらに接近距離7000そのまま至近まで呼び込め
更新を求めていますが
通信の状態が良くないようなふりをしておけ
There's also the element that the weapon systems are predominantly forward-facing.
まもなく5000キルヒャイス今だ
Is that the Cephal thing? Cephal particle projector?
Yeah.
ゼフルリウス放出
Which I guess implies that they got it working.
Yes.
よし緊急加速
Oh, I think I know what they're gonna try to do. They're gonna
敵艦より警告
detonate.
停戦すれば撃沈すると言っています
構うな
Well, I mean, you know what Cephal particles do, so.
Yeah.
敵艦加速
Good use of the music too, but I know you can't hear it.
I hear it. I'm not completely deaf to it. I just don't hear a lot of minor inflections and such.
Yeah.
お見事
I believe all of last episode was Beethoven.
こうした使い方ならできるだがこれで敵は完全にこちらに気づく他の艦も追ってくるぞ離脱急げよ
艦長が危機の破壊に同意されなかったのは脱出作戦に利用なさるおつもりだったからなのですね
通常のゼッフル粒子だと今のように使い方が限定されるそれでもないよりはマシだ
指向性ゼフル粒子が使えれば包囲された場合でも活路が見出せると
I don't understand
多少は
how.
期待したのだがな
I don't understand how the directional part of that system would even work.
Oh, you put it around you when they try to attack you. You basically send a cloud to them if they try to attack you from a direction.
Not how
you can-
I interpret that at all. I still don't interpret it that way. I think that's your idea of how that works.
父上も
At best, I would think it's like a flamethrower of cephal particles,
カ
or
プセルがご遺体の保存にも条件が適しており
projects them in a direction.
おかわいそう
Your daddy was a bastard, though. I know he's your father, but you're in this situation because your daddy was a bastard.
You're not getting invited to the funeral.
最後まで父上についてきてくれたのに
So you're not getting invited to the funeral. You keep
I would wanna
interjecting.
go.
You keep interjecting asshole comments about her dad for no reason.
毒殺されたのじゃ何者かに父上もわらわも危ないところであったそれで 父上は亡命をお考えになったのだ。
So technically, they were already on the run for a while. Well, I'm guessing you're going to be right. And that it's only the characters in the show haven't even figured out yet.
返してくれるのか。
That they're building up this relationship between Kirches and her and everything until only to find out that, oh, yeah, she died.
Yeah.
We brought her back and she fucking died.
いや、軍事機密に関わる装置を回収することは命ぜられているが、資材の没収までは命ぜられておらん。
じゃが、普通任務に当たった者の特権で略奪するのが常ではないのか。
そういうこともあるようですが、それは一部の恥を知らぬ者がやることで、誇りある帝国軍人のやることではありません。
Well, those are in short supply.
私どもは宇宙海賊ではありません。
Although, ironically, you'd probably be safer with space pirates right now.
Yeah.
そうなのか。
私が保証します。お信じくださって結構です。
No, well, you can.
Well, there's also the idea that whoever was poisoning or poisoned her mother and may have been trying to kill her dad would still be after her for completion's sake. I don't know.
Yeah.
Dude knows.
Yeah. That's who was sending this mission. That's a real mission, right?
Well, I mean, oh god, I can't talk now because the narrator's gonna say something important. Oh, what's that? Didn't cover 2 weeks in that message? Oh, thank God. No, to what I was saying before about the not believing that Benamunde had just taken quick advantage of this.
Yeah.
Clearly somebody else for some other reason.
I mean, her father was known for being a bastard that, you know, women didn't like him because he was too handsy, and he also was basically stealing property, you know, using, you know, tricks to take people's property and stuff like
he was
that,
not
right? So
stealing property.
He was actually trying to get their minds that belonged to the other family members.
Yeah,
And exploiting the fact that their husband wouldn't be able to fight a duel.
Well, that's not his
That's why-
fault. I mean, that's the legal way to handle the situation.
Yeah.
You're only calling it theft because from outside it looks like theft.
だが敵は撃ってこない。
敵の目的は装置を奪取すること。
そうだ。しかも前回と違って今度は事情を把握している。
Anyway, my thing was that we're no longer in the Benamunde is trying to kill the situation. We're in the somebody else's Benamunde is now doing this to somebody else.
Yeah.
What if Silver White Valley, but we are herder? No, we're not herder. Well, I guess technically we are herder.
ゼフル粒子ってエンジンの噴射で引火しないのか？お前、ガスか何かと勘違いしていないか？レーザーやビーム砲ぐらいの高温でないと発火しないんだよ。
Everyone knows the engines don't put off heat. Wait, what?
念のため敵艦に通信で警告してやれ。ゼフル粒子が充満しているぞとな。
Yeah, I already covered that in the notes that they're not selfie particles or selfie particles.
思うツボだ。そのまま小惑星帯へ引きずり込む。
Too bad we don't get a shot from the other ship's captains, you know. That's a smaller ship, like a destroyer.
前に出すな。このまま並走しろ。
I mean, it makes sense to be real close to the other thing. That way, if the selfie particles go off, it'll fuck you both. That way they don't do to you what they did to the other ship.
小惑星を避けつつ最大出力だ。
I guess the engines are not high energy enough to set up the particles.
That's what the guy said. They're not hot enough.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
not hot. Or cold fusion energy.
ゼフルリウス
That's not how that works either. I'm just joking.
ゼフルリウス切れました。今だ。敵艦にぶつけろ。 離脱しろ。
Well, then yeah, you just sat in the middle of the sulfur particles, which I guess you couldn't detect.
ゼフル粒子が切れていなかったら爆発に巻き込まれるところ。
She's a lot less clever than the mutineer was.
Yeah.
やりますな、キルヒ
They're relying too much on the MacGuffin in this case, right?
Well, it's more so that they're doing it over and over again.
この先どういたしますか。
That's what I said. They're relying too much on the
完
MacGuffin.
全に封鎖され
Right,
てしまい
well,
ました
no, I'm saying... You're saying they rely too much on MacGuffin. There was the one MacGuffin in Mutineer that they relied on, and they did it once, versus this
Yeah.
one.
試してみてくれ。感度ありました。座標を固定。更新できるか。
映像や音声での更新は危険です。暗号電文のやり取りが精一杯かと。
やむを得ないな。こちらの状況を知らせろ。返信来ました。
艦長、駐在部官から別の航路案が送られてきました。
ほう、期待以上だな。
問題は多いようです。元になった航路データが不完全であること、かなりの迂回ルートになるため、補給なしには要塞まで帰り着けなくなること。
I said resupply is going to be a
駐在部
problem.
官の方でもそれは理解しているようだ。本国を通じて補給の手配をすると言っている。
Well, technically, wouldn't this guy be contacting them outside of Fezzen,
それが
like he was
通信がまた
before?
途絶してしまいました。
So why couldn't they just make a run for Fezzen?
I think they are in Fezzen, aren't they? They're trying to escape, though.
No, they're still outside of both
ご相談したいことは
corridors. Because remember, the Alliance patrols are outside both corridors.
というわけです。何か裏があるとは思っていたが、予想以上に複雑な背景がありそうだな。
そのあたりの手がかりも問題のコンピューターデータの中に含まれているのではないかと思いますが。
ベンドリング少佐はそれを知っていると思うか。
情報の中身まで知っているかは分かりませんが、その情報の存在は承知していて、それを奪還する任務も帯びているのではないかと思われます。
Like, who are the co-conspirators that allow him to get the device and hands on
裏
the
の事
device?
情までは知らされておらず、マルガレータ城の話に動揺しておられるようでした。
I don't
マル
know.
ガレータ城本国に連行しても、
I don't know. I'm thrown by the fact he started this whole conversation with "is what happened." It's like, fuck, man,
それだ
tell
けに
me.
暗殺の対象とはなります。遠石の者もいるでしょうが、関わり合いになるのを恐れて引き取り手もないでしょ
う。ではどうすべきだと思う？
彼女と取引してはどうでしょうか。
取引？10歳の子供とか。
ラインハルト様、ラインハルト様が志をお立てになられた時、おいくつでしたか？
Hard to tell. The show didn't tell us. There's no dates in the movie.
よかろう。だが具体的には
アクセスコードを聞き出し、問題の装置と引き換えに彼女に船と資材を返すのです。
このまま亡命させるというのか。だがいくら資材を返還しても信頼できる後見人でもいないことには無事にやっていけるとは思えないが。
それは
Yeah, I also don't think you should be able to pilot the ship by yourself.
その取引にはアクセスコードを先に聞き出す必要があるが。
I mean, they're still the crew of the ship. They didn't kill them all.
I assume that they took them
私が責
prisoner.
任を持って
Yeah, just release them. Fly the ship.
They might know too much. I mean, we know that they were just hired hands, but who the hell knows what they know?
ラインハルトは再び艦を進発させた。新たな航路情報をもとに待ち伏せを避けて大きく迂回する航路を取ったのである。
Dead man walking.
これによって当面の敵の裏をかくことはできた。
I bet you it's going to be the narrator that tells us she died.
Yeah.
当然同盟軍は回廊周辺の中域を封鎖してくるであろう。それを突破する手段はあるのか。困難な状況はまだ続いている。
No shit.
These questions and more next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, wait. Yeah. Like Phil possessive problems, of course. We still have another episode to go.
Well, I don't know. They could have solved it this episode and then dealt with whatever happens to her in the next episode.
Yeah, I figured they were going to do that. But
obviously, it feels like they're pulling like or they're going for a quick rug pull, make everything seem like everything's fine, and then we get some news, and Siegfried turns to Reinhardt, and then Nader informs us that she's died or something like that. I don't know. My problem with this arc so far is the fact that it doesn't feel like there is a natural tension to it, in that it feels like everything is artificially made more tense. Like, oh, we couldn't just tell us what the characters know. Siegfried's going to show up in a scene later, and that's everything I know. You know, don't let us know. You've got to create that false sense of loss of information.
Yeah.
To make us wonder what the fuck is going on. Whereas if we knew what was going on from the get-go, the scene wouldn't be interesting. And that makes for an uninteresting arc.
Yeah. Well, I do think that the scene with the little girl with her family, really, and whoever retainers, I guess they were there as well, was pretty effective, right? That she's trying to act mature.
All I heard was this asshole this and this asshole that from you. So
yeah, no, but I'm talking about the father, you know. But you know, that's not.
Yeah,
I mean, she's not
part of her family.
She's not guilty. She's not guilty of her father's crimes.
Oh, the sins of the father, as it were.
Oh, in the Empire, she might well be.
Well, yeah, that's the whole thing that we talked about. Why she's gonna die.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying that you're saying it was an effective scene. While she's talking about how... Well, hold on.
迂回ルートを取った兵士リヒエンチェンはそのために物資とエネルギーに不足をきたしていた。しかも敵は回廊出入り口に封鎖線を敷いている。この状況を打破するためにラインハルトは一つの決断を下したが、次回銀河英雄伝説外伝奪還者第4話、野望への道は自らの手で切り開け。
I guess that's the benefit of not naming the episodes. Because clearly I think this show would name the episode something that gives it all away, instead of having chapter 4, which is, I don't know what the hell's going to happen. No, I'm saying the effectiveness of the scene of her describing the fact that her mother got poisoned, and that's really why they went on the run, and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Slightly diminished by the undertone of, your daughter's an asshole.
Your father.
Yeah.
Not the daughter.
No, you're saying your father's an asshole, and you're making a whole list as we go about why your father's an asshole. And all I can think of is that one Red Letter Media movie, Your Mother's a Bitch.
Yeah.
Nothing?
So yeah. Sorry, something came in my mind right now and had nothing to do with anything, you know. So I mean, it's unfortunate she's got caught in all of this, but that's kind of noble politics. There's still the fact that she might just be killed outright because, you know, punishment for a traitor. Although they seem to mention is like that's not the problem. The problem is that she has no relatives to speak of. They want, you know, they don't want to be Well, I guess that would be a problem if they don't want to be take her in, and by extension, now they are, they are the relatives, right? They're, the distance disappears if she was a direct descendant of the traitor, should be punished, even if the rest of the family is not punished. The fact that somebody shows up to drag her away,
Well, we have no idea if
still,
distance even matters.
yeah. Well, I suppose you don't kill like 200 people; you kill like the immediate family. Right? You just don't want to. You want to make a point.
My point here would be, says who?
Well, the problem if you try to eradicate entire families,
the joke that comes with this typically is, I'm gonna wipe out anyone that ever knew you. That's how hard. That's how deep I'm gonna go. And well, why stop with like the immediate family? If you really want to make this a hard-hitting threat.
No, because it comes to a point where it becomes such a threat to the entire system. Like anybody that, in order to protect themselves, they would have to rebel or run away, right?
Which they did.
See what I'm talking about? Yeah, no,
so
but
clearly it is such a threat to the system that they have done this. Also,
I'm talking about
in fact,
the extended family.
But 500 years ago, there was this little rebellion you might have heard of. Arl started it, created the Free Planets Alliance.
Oh, you would even have more of those. I mean, you would have continuously a cycle of rebellion, because anybody who makes any mistakes at this level, everybody can, like your third and fourth and fifth cousins,
I'm glad you're treating treason as a mistake. Anybody that makes any mistake. I think there's a difference between a mistake and treason.
I mean, you could be triggered to join treason. You could. I mean, there's many. You can be accused of treason, and we don't know the shall we say the evidentially value or benchmark for this. It's like I mean, many times in history, it's been, you're a traitor. I'm a traitor. You're a traitor.
I think
King,
clearly,
you believe I was a traitor? Yeah.
I think clearly the benchmark to this is the threat to the system. If you're indicating that it's such a threat to the system to do this to traitors, then the benchmark is, don't label them as traitors unless you're willing to do that to the system. I mean, not to the system, unless you're willing to go on board with it. Otherwise, label them a lesser crime to the state.
Yeah, but I guess at some point, okay, if, for example, you're talking about people who are 2 times to 3, 4 times removed are still in danger, right? There comes a point where those people would do whatever it takes to remove that danger, a systemic danger, right? It's like, okay, we can't have a system that because that guy over there, who is my third cousin, twice removed, committed treason, I'm in the hook for it, right? Might as well everybody commit treason right now, have another rebellion, and get rid of it before we're effed, right?
I think when you're in a society like this, very specifically, I mean, aimed towards nobility, you probably have ways of isolating your family from your distant family, in that's how you keep your family name, your inheritance, your descent, not your descendants. It is your way of isolating your very specific noble family from the noble families that you come from. So I'm assuming that the legality here is less so you paying for the crimes of your distant family, and more so the legality of starts with an H. It's not coming to me.
Hereditary?
Yeah. Yeah. Like the fact that we are basing our entire civilization on like the 16th to 17th century, the whole idea of lineage of noble lines, that whole sort of thing separates us from what might normally be in regular society. Our cousins is in fact a whole different noble family, and we don't regard ourselves as part of that, which is a firewall to getting your whole family burned by treason.
I mean, you do have cadet branches of. I mean, that ironically, that's kind of the opposite, because a very powerful family will have a lot of.
It depends on how you handle it, and like I'm saying, if the society has to deal with this sort of thing, it's probably going to find its own solutions for it, which is to say, your immediate family is your only family because we're separating ourselves out. Your cadet families are probably not even going to be like your cousins or anything anymore. They're probably going to be more like bannermen in this situation, which is to say, completely separate families that then inherit your family's wealth when it turns out you've been labeled by treason and they're able to finger you without getting themselves labeled as traitors.
Yeah, we would have to.
We're probably looking at the mirror universe from Star Trek, really.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they're basing it on the Prussian system. I don't think the Prussians practice murder of entire families, though. So.
Well, once again, you're tying yourself down to reality, and I
mean,
am saying
something...
this is a narrative where we can just invent stuff wholesale if we
Yeah.
want.
Well, rarely do I find in situations that things are invented wholesale. It's just people take ideas and go with them, right? It's much easier to copy than it
not
is
inventing them wholesale, but you can take an idea of something from history and then extrapolate in a direction that you want to go in without a predetermined point of reality, right?
Well, but again, it has to be
Prussians did
and
this, but what if they did this instead? And then what if that went on for 1,000 years, you know?
It depends.
I mean, it doesn't actually, because it's really just a couple of people with a pen and paper making shit up.
Yeah, but if you're talking about being coherent and consistent,
you can't be consistent without reality. That's all I'm saying. Sorry, I interrupted you. I'm trying to stop, I swear. It seems like I'm not, but I am. I'm fully cognizant of, especially when I'm sitting down in the editing, looking at, yeah, he didn't talk very often, and then I go to it, and it's like, you say something, but what if... Damn it, shut the fuck up.
What I'm trying to say about coherence and consistency is that when you if you introduce too many variables, you're running the possibility that whatever you were basing on just kind of loses its integrity, right? Because there might be a reason why in the Prussian system you wouldn't practice, family eradication as part of punishment, right? Or it would be something that was available but very rare for many reasons, right? Where it seems here it's by law, right? Commit treason, at least your immediate family at least gets offed, right? And that would include her, which we were talking about in the first place. And if she were to go to these distant relatives, would they also now become, by accepting her, guilty by association? Or would that be, as you say, distant enough to protect her from any retaliation?
Well, I didn't say that.
And it doesn't cover the fact that someone else tried to kill all of them, right? Mother was poisoned. That's why they fled. So they might still want to kill, keep on going, right? So it might not even raise to the fact that they get a trial or anything. She just disappears, or they found her dead, right?
Well, that's just that, where they're dealing with their own Benemonde. Two, I didn't say that. Now I'm already forgetting this. I think this is why I tend to interrupt, is I have a shit memory, and if I don't say it real quick, I'm going to forget. Because I've been holding the fingers like, there's three things. I got three things to respond to. I didn't say that. Now I'm forgetting what I didn't say. Oh, the distance to the families. I was implying a different thing that may be in effect here. If I was writing it, and I was thinking, oh, the thing that's more important to me is the traitor thing, then how would a society work if you were at risk of your entire family line being killed? That's why I came up with the whole, we would isolate families from each other. Even if you're technically cousins, we're going to give you a whole different name, different noble line. Maybe in fact it's there is no tie between your actual bloodline relations and the noble titles that you're given. Maybe those titles are handed down since the start of the Empire's formation, and that you're taking up names, kind of like the Pope, right? The Pope is operating on a series of names given, and not typically their own name.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the same thing with the noble titles that are given. That I'm sorry, I can't think of anyone's actual noble titles in the show because they're so dramatic that they don't stick with me. But maybe the example is none of those are actually those people's names. That those are titles of the noble families that were around that aided the original Kaiser's ascension to power, and have been given to nobles a long time. That sort of thing. So you're getting punished for your biological bloodline, but not your noble bloodline. Oh God, what was I can't remember what the first thing was now. It was something you said at the very beginning of it, and I can't remember what it was.
If you don't know, then I can't remember exactly. I said a lot of things, so.
Yep, I know. That's why I typically jump in, because I know that my limit of my memory is probably 5 minutes. Well, the alternative is that I have a pen and pad and just start jotting shit down while you're talking. Oh, yeah. Okay. We'll come back to that.
Whatever works.
Well, it doesn't, because it's not entertaining.
Yeah.
Also, despite all the pens and papers I have around here, I'll ironically pull to the one side that's blank, because this thing is mostly filled with chicken scratch.
Yeah.
Huh, hope that wasn't important.
Don't throw it away, no. This
No,
one actually
it was
was
a note for something from my aunt. It's like, what? I don't remember this.
So yeah, that was the episode.
All right. Well, once again, I have been Theta. This has been Lessons. We've been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video and what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?